Hey folks, Ryan here from Mr. Row's Gaming Rants and Reviews, and I've got another rant for you today. I don't know how long this one's going to be. It's going to be fairly short and sweet. But so I've got a rant here today as I've seen a trend on social media. I've seen a couple posts over the past week, and I thought I'd just chime in with my thoughts on them. And it's all coming around reviewing games. Now, I produce reviews on this particular channel. If you like them, please go ahead, go like them, subscribe to this content and whatnot. I do produce reviews, and I do have my guidelines around how I personally want to do reviews. And there's a lot of reviewers out there. The board gaming content creation space is vastly, it's very, very large, and there are all types of reviews out there. And there are a ton of different philosophies on when should we review a game. All right. How many plays do you need to get in to, maybe what are people calling properly review a game? And my response to this is, it really doesn't matter. What kind of content are you creating for your channel, for your audience? Are you a reviewer that loves to give their hot takes on a game? Maybe you played the game once and then you record your immediate feedback. That's okay. That is awesome, because initial reactions to games are pretty important. Now, I can measure that as a consumer of maybe they've reviewed a game that I've already played and I already enjoy. Okay, and if they give their hot take on a particular game, let's just say, Scythe. Scythe is a game that I really, really enjoy. Somebody comes out, gives a hot take on Scythe and says, man, that one really didn't grab my attention. Okay, I have some sort of metric now that I can, as a consumer, relate to that person's comment. I'm not going to shun them and say, oh man, you really need to play Scythe more and more to appreciate the value in the game and the game systems. You're not going to get everything in one play. I'm not going to be that person. There are people out there. I already did a rant with Jason from Dice and Dragons about the keyboard warriors out there, and they feel like they need to, attack these individuals for, like, say something like, hey, I'm going to record my initial reaction about a game, and if that initial reaction doesn't line up how I feel about the game, I need to let that person know about it. You don't need to do that. That's gatekeeping. That just needs to stay out of this hobby type of thing. So, have to know that particular reviewer, they like to give hot takes. They love to give their initial reactions to games, and that is by far that's okay. Maybe some people out there say, hey, I need to play a game. I need to play it at all the different player counts before I can give my full honest review about it. Cool. If I know that about that reviewer, okay, I know that that's what they want to do, and they're going to be able to give me their thoughts on all of the different player counts. That's fantastic. Not all reviewers are able to do that. For myself, I'm usually giving my reviews at only the 2-player count, because that is what by far the most times that I actually get into gaming is with my wife and I, or my son and I. So all of our plays, all my reviews are usually solely based on the 2-player, maybe the 3-player count. Okay, maybe. And that's okay, as long as the audience knows that that's what kind of reviewer I am, or reviewer you are. That is okay. And then maybe they should be able, what consumers should be doing is providing these metrics, like I said, these metrics of, hey, did they review a game that I have already played? How do I feel about the game versus how they reviewed the game? That should give me some sort of metric on, should I pursue this content creator's work? Okay. So I've been just seeing some comments this past week about, hey, so-and-so you need to have X amount of review plays of the game before you can actually there's that word, honestly review a game. And what does honestly review a game even mean? Because lately it just seems like, hey, if somebody has is putting down a game that's popular or is giving some negative feedback on a game, now they're all of a sudden they are an honest reviewer. I don't get that. I've never understood that philosophy or that state of mind. If a game is popular, it's probably popular for a reason. Marketing, got paid for some good content, paid for some good advertising and stuff like that. But honestly, it's probably because it's a pretty decent game overall, and it struck a chord with a lot of different gamers, and that's why it's getting its quote unquote hotness or something like that. And don't do the hipster thing. I was like, oh, it's cool, but I like to hate on the cool thing. That's just that's just BS. You don't need to be chiming in with your comments about that just for being difficult. But I do have to say that there was another particular a tweet that I saw by, I believe it was Restoration Games, and whoever the social media person is that posted about this, you nailed it on this one and everything, because there was a BGG review of one of their products. I believe it was Return to Dark Tower, and the person gave it a rating, gave it a review, but openly admitted that they had never played the game. Like, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. They based their review solely on what they had seen and what they had heard from other probably biased parties that they are very biased in watching and listening to. If you haven't even played the game, of course, I don't want to listen to your quote-unquote review or even pay attention to your quote-unquote score about the game. You haven't even played it to understand what the experience of that game is. Like, get out of my face. I don't need to hear your thoughts or even read. I kind of started glimming through that, and I said, oh man, this is not worth the 2 to 3 minutes it's going to take me to get through this text. Okay? If you haven't even played the game, I'm not interested in your thoughts on it. I'm going to go back. There's so many, like I said, there's so many channels out there. There's so many content creators that are offering great content, and every one of them has got their merits, and every one of them's got their audience. And as long as us, the consumers, know what that particular reviewer is aiming at and how they approach their reviews, you can gauge how well you're going to link up with that reviewer, with that content creator. So I'm not going to sit here and say these are the content creators you need to pay attention to because they give the best honest reviews or anything. No, find the ones that you strike a chord with you, the ones that you're maybe the most relatable with. Okay, the ones that kind of seem to be reviewing the games, they kind of have their similar thoughts and patterns that you do. That's the content that you should be listening to. Those are the reviews that you should be listening to. That's exactly what I do. I have my list of about 8 or 10 reviewers out there in YouTube and podcasting lands, and I pay attention to what they say because my gaming tastes seem to line up with their gaming tastes. I enjoy what they enjoy, and I dislike what they dislike, and stuff and so forth and like that. All right, so reviews. Everybody's got their niche, okay? You don't need to play a game X amount of times in order to call yourself a reviewer, or that is how you should review games. Absolutely not. Absolute garbage. If you are a hot take person, like Board Game Hot Takes usually is, and they're playing their immediate reaction after playing the game, that's awesome. That's what I enjoy about those guys. And they've reviewed games that I've played and I've enjoyed, and I can line up my views with their views, and I know exactly when they mention something, if they mention a mediocre aspect about a game or a negative point about the game, I know where I stand when listening to them about those aspects. And if they really, really gloat about a game, well, man, that's probably just icing on the cake because I usually line up with how they're doing. All right. I don't have much more to say about this topic and everything. It was just something that has been on my mind the past couple days here. So, I've been Ryan from Mr. Row's Gaming Rants and Reviews. If you are enjoying the content that's on this channel, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you get notified when new videos get released here. And yeah, comment on this video. How many times do you think that a reviewer should play a game before they actually give their honest opinion? Or who are some of your favorite reviewers out there? All right. Again, I've been Ryan, and I can honestly say I think this is time to say Rant is over.